All right, everybody, so it's a new day. Yesterday we got the can lights installed, and today we are gonna work on the outlets and hopefully finish those up and close out this video. So yesterday, I did get the outlet boxes installed. So you can see one there, there. Then along this wall, there's 4, so there will be a window that goes in right down to about that red line. So that'll all be windows. So there's an outlet on the right and on the left. And then coming over here, there's 2 more. So we'll have the folding workbenches right there. And then over here, obviously the breaker box. And then we have, so there's gonna be a standing cabinet unit about right there. 3 overtop units right there. And then 4 lower units down there. So there's an outlet behind each one. There's an outlet behind each of the uppers. And then there's a 3 box outlet, whatever, over behind the cabinet. And then this we haven't done anything with yet. I need to get the freezer out of here, build a closet in there, closet enclosure, and then put electrical in there. That's not gonna be today, but I do have the one outlet. I don't know where I'm pointing because the screen's off. That one outlet there. So all I need to do is run a bunch of different circuits. So we're gonna have this on its own circuit. I also forgot about the 2 outlets. Where are they? Right above me. So one there and one there. I'm gonna have 2 ceiling outlets, and then the real Zilla, so I can pull it down and then work wherever in the garage. So those I need to get wired up today. That will be one circuit. This and this wall, because the Mustang will be there forever because I'm always storing it. That'll be one circuit, and then there's gonna be another circuit since I don't know what I'm doing yet with the closet, and then these, which will have the 12-2 wiring extension cords as well, so I shouldn't have any issues no matter what I run. Step 1 was to figure out what to buy, and to do that, I did some research online, starting with looking up the electrical code in my area. So the electrical code for a garage is I need a 20 amp circuit and 1 receptacle per garage bay. So it's a 2-car garage, I need 2 receptacles. They both need to be CGFI protected unless they are on the ceiling is the only exception, and they both must be tamper resistant. So prior to this, we already have a 100 amp dedicated breaker box installed in the garage. And then the plan here is to run 3 20 amp circuits. So that covers the 20 amp part. That 20 amp part also dictates the size of the wire we will be using, which will be a 12 gauge wire. We needed outlets. I wanted to get 15 amp and 20 amp outlets. We also got some outlets with USBs in them. I think the total was 20 outlets, and I needed equal amount of boxes. I'm going to show you guys how I've been wiring these up. So this is a pretty good example. It has both the wires. It's not just an end outlet. So this is in the middle of the circuit. So this wire coming in from the breaker box, this wire going to the next outlet. So the first thing we did was took off the outside yellow casing until about up where we were going to run them into the box. Took a 1/2 inch off the neutral and the hot. The ground doesn't have a casing in it. On it, we ran them in, tightened them down so they're not going to pull out or go anywhere. We twisted the ground together and then ran it outside here, so we only had 1 ground wire, and then 2 hot and 2 neutral. 1 hot coming in, 1 hot going out, same with the neutral. And the reason we did that for the ground is because there's 1 ground terminal, 2 silver terminals for the neutral, and then 2 brass terminals for the hot, and the outlet will be going in just like that. So I'm going to connect all these up, show you guys what it looks like. It all wired up, so neutral, silver, black, brass, ground, green. They're all tightened up. I don't know if you can see it, but they're all looped around. So this is looped around here, tightened down, held nicely in place. So then we're just going to push that. I'm gonna have to use both hands because I'm gonna have to bend these up a little bit, but bend them, push it in, and then secure it, and then it's all done. All secured, wires pushed back, center, beautiful. Besides wiring up the outlets, which you just saw, and wiring up the breaker, which you'll see next, I had to install the outlet boxes and run the wire. So for the outlet boxes, how we determined where we were going to install them is we looked up the code on what's needed for a garage. So for a garage, you need 1 outlet per car bay. So this is a 2-car garage. So 2 outlets under 5 foot. With a layout that works for this garage with about 20 outlets, we definitely covered that. So that's how we determined the location. Since we didn't have drywall up yet, we could just take the boxes, nail them right in the side of the stud, and then run the wire from there. When running the wire, as we said earlier, we needed a 20 amp circuit for the garage, so that needs a 12 gauge wire. So we took our 12 gauge wire, drilled holes through the studs, and ran the wire from the breaker onto one outlet onto the next. The most important part about running the wire is whenever you put it through a stud, you put a little metal plate over where that wire runs through, so when you're installing your drywall or installing any kind of shelving later, you don't drill through your wire. So last video we went over the breaker for the lights. This video we're going to go over the breakers for the outlets, which are a little bit different than the breakers from the lights. These are GFCI, I hope I got those in the right order, breakers. They're special breakers that if you want your outlets to be up to code, either the breakers or the outlets need to be GFCI. The outlets were like $30 a piece, and I have a bunch of them, so I didn't want to do that. So I got one of these, which is $60. And I'm going to have 3 of them because I'm going to have 3 circuits. So what's different than this when you hook it up is these are actually 2 different versions of it, both made for this box. But for a normal one, you hook the hot in and you hook the neutral and ground to the shared neutral bar. For these, you either have the one with the pigtail where you hook the hot in, you hook the neutral in as well, so the white gets connected back there, and then there's a pigtail ran out that connects to the shared bar. And this one is just a plug-in, so the hot runs in, the neutral runs in the same way, but this just has a little clamp on this side that plugs in. There we go. There we go. So that's the problem. I don't know if it's the breaker. I already took apart the circuit, so you can see there's only one outlet in this circuit. It's right there, and I took that one apart yesterday too, so I'm troubleshooting the circuit, but I figured since I needed to go out and buy breakers anyways, I needed one more for the 3rd circuit. I would also replace the other one with clip-on. So I'm going to do that now and see if that solves my problem. I removed the first 2 outlets in the circuit and tied off the wires. The breaker's been flipped for over a minute and it hasn't tripped. I don't know what is different about one of these 2 outlets. It has to be this. It has to be this. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong in that. So from that point, I wanted to leave the breaker on a little while longer to make sure it didn't take a little bit extra time to flip, so I started wiring up a couple extra lights I didn't get to yesterday. First step was putting one of the outlets back. I left it outside of the box. I waited a little bit to make sure the breaker didn't trip. I then put the second outlet back. I pushed one all the way in and I pushed the other all the way in, and it hasn't flipped since. I think when I was pushing the metal outlet in, a wire was coming loose even though I couldn't see it. I'll talk a little bit later in the video about a tester. I did get that tester and tested out all the outlets. They are wired up correctly, so that's why I think it was just the wire that was coming loose. So I've been thinking, I have one light left, or housing, whatever, one left, and I want to put it somewhere. And where I want to put it is right there. There's not really another light that close around. Everywhere else has lights everywhere. So I want to put it right there. So the only way I can put it right there is if I move that or get rid of it. So I think the option is going to be get rid of it. And then one day we'll replace it with a side opener, but that'll let me put my last light up, and then I won't be able to run any more lights anywhere, and the lights will be done. Let's talk about cost. So we needed breakers. We had 3 circuits. We got 3 of them at $60 a piece, $180. 250 foot of 12-2 wire was enough to feed all 3 circuits. That cost $150. We had around about 20 new construction outlet boxes, $1 a piece. 20 outlets, $20. We bought 5 20 amp outlets, at $5 a piece, coming $25. We bought 15 amp outlets, bring our total outlets up to 20. 15 of those cost $1 a piece, so $15. Add some miscellaneous staples, Romex connectors, electrical wire, wing nuts at around $20. So for a total of $410, I put 20 outlets on 3 circuits, all up to code in my garage. And we are done for this video. So we got the garage door opener removed, we got the lights installed, so that's the light where the garage door opener was, 2 lights on the floor, 1 light where the closet's gonna be. I think that's gonna look really nice because I'm gonna drywall everything. So I think it's gonna look really nice not having something there and having the garage door opener over there. So that is awesome. 2 out of the 3 circuits are done. The last one is gonna be the outlet that needs to go up there, also the outlet over there where the outlets for the closet would be, the outlet for the garage door opener will be. I don't know exactly where those are yet, so that's why I haven't finished it, but the 2 circuits I could finish, the one where the workbenches will go, so that is all done. That hasn't been giving us any issues. The one that was giving us issues is now looks to be fixed. Because I don't want my house to burn down, or my garage to burn down while I'm sleeping, I'm gonna turn this off right after the video. I'm gonna go into storage. I'm gonna get my little tester. It's like a little plug that you just plug in and it either lights up green and it says, yay, everything's good, or it lights up another way and it tells you exactly what's wrong, and then you can fix it and check it again afterwards. Make sure they're all green, make sure everything's wired up correctly, make sure everything's tight. Then I'll leave the breaker on, but I'm gonna turn it off for tonight. But yeah, that's pretty much it for outlets and lights. I know this was supposed to only be outlets, an outlet video, but we also covered a little bit of lights too, so hopefully you enjoyed that. And then we also were able to get the 8-3 wire ran to the breaker box, and the breaker's installed. It goes up along this wall, along that wall, and then you can see it pigtails down right there. And we actually received the heater yesterday, so we'll be installing that, so no more cold days out here. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed.